What's up, guys? Straight from the chest. My name is Groth, guys, and I want to welcome you to another Wednesday Wrath. Guys, this is a personal development podcast for those of you that are new to the channel. And again, welcome for those of you that are new. For those of you that are veteran listeners, guys, thank you for giving me your listening ear. And guys, if you like this podcast, please extend it to one other person. That's all I ask. Guys, we're going into another We're Not Friends segment because this is something that I deal with sometimes on a daily basis with my clientele. And even though we're not obviously my clients and I, we're friends, but we're not friends, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, I can say this to them and they'll understand what I'm talking about, those of them that are listening. But guys, when you're training, when you're lifting weights, something that really bothers me when you're in the middle of a set, and let's say you're doing 8 reps of something, and on the 7th rep, it's extremely difficult, and obviously your brain is telling you to stop probably well before the 7th rep, probably on the 5th or 6th rep, it's telling you, okay, that's enough, dude, you gotta rack the bar. But on the 7th rep, you don't know if you have an 8th rep, but I want 8 reps out of you, and you're at that threshold where you're just like, this is so hard. I don't know if I can do it. And you mentally shut off and you puss out and you rack the bar. We're not friends. Honestly, that's the worst thing you could have done. And I'll tell you why. You don't know what you're made out of if you rack the bar. There's a point in you that, like I said, preceding that, if we're on a total of 8 reps here, there's a point of you that on the 5th rep, you're like, hey, I need to put this up because the tension becomes too much. On the 7th rep, you're questioning everything, which you should. You should be questioning everything because that's what it takes to grow. That's what it takes to become stronger and develop an adaptation to what stimulus you're applying. You need that. I don't know if I'm going to make it or not. But you won't know. I'll tell you one thing. If you don't go down and you rack the bar instead, you'll never know what you're made out of. And you'll stay in your cushy comfort zone. That's what'll happen. But you'll learn 2 things if you attempt it. 1, you will know that you didn't make it up. If you don't end up completing the rep, you'll know, oh, well, I wasn't strong enough for that. And then you can dump the bar, or not dump the bar, but you can, set it on the pins. Hopefully your trainer has pins there, or your spotter has pins there available for you to drop the bar. But if you make it up, I made it. I'm strong. I'm stronger than I thought I was. So you'll learn 2 things if you attempt it. But you never learn 2 things. You only learn 1 thing when you rack the bar on that tension, on that really tension-filled rep. You rack the bar and you realize 1 thing. You don't have what it takes. And we're not friends if you at least don't attempt it. I need you to attempt the rep. And this could apply for anything in your life. It doesn't matter if you're under the bar or not under a certain stimulus of weight. That doesn't necessarily apply. It could be anything in your life. If you don't attempt it, we're not friends. You need to at least attempt it. And if you fail, you fail. But you have to attempt it at least. That's so important. And this really goes beyond a We're Not Friends segment. This could be the entire podcast. You need that tension time. The only way you're going to grow. And every tension in someone's life maybe look a little different. But for me, I've learned 1 thing. I've learned that I have a gall and a work ethic like I never knew I had because of weightlifting. And that carries over to multiple avenues of my life. So many avenues. And I know the ones that weightlift that are listening right now, they understand what I'm talking about. You test and try yourself every day. And now it may be something with regards to weights, but guys, you can carry this over to so many different avenues of your life. The weights are tools to teach you you got what it takes. Some people go off into the military and they go to war and they're in the army or they're whatever. Like, those things are trying to them. They're challenging, but they teach them elements of their psyche that they didn't know they had. Or rather, develops elements of them that they didn't know that they could develop. And for that, I'm forever grateful for weightlifting. For that reason alone. But, in all honesty, when I get on these podcasts, there's two sides of me. I'm gonna switch gears here. There's two sides of me. There's one side that's very empathetic, and there's another side that just doesn't give a shit. It's truth. And a lot of times, I err on the aggressive side. Because, to be truthful with you, I'm so deathly passionate about engaging in my purpose and finding out what it is that when I don't see the evolution of it, I get frustrated. And the frustration is conveyed as anger or aggression. And I promise you, it's not that. It's frustration squared. That's all it is. It's so much of frustration because when I don't see things evolving on my timeline, like you, I get frustrated. But I'm becoming more in love with being frustrated because I understand that is the catalyst to my growth. And let me frame what I'm trying to illustrate here. That when somebody is frustrated about something, that means that they have a dire need to see whatever it is they're working on come to life or evolve. Or else they would just quit. The frustration is a necessity if you want to be something of greatness, of magnitude, of measure. If you're not willing to go through the frustration periods, then you're not going to be great. And the frustration is kind of somewhat tied to tension too. The tension that's required to grow. But more often than not, the tension that's applied to your life with whatever you're going through, it sometimes errs as frustration because things aren't happening the way you want them to happen. And that is the way it goes. Nothing is going to happen, or not nothing, most things aren't going to happen the way you want them to happen. Except for maybe the little things in life, the things that you can kind of control. But the big picture idea is not up to you to control. And I know that most of you will tune out at that because, I can control my whole life, my destiny. I'm going to tell you, you don't control your destiny. You control the minutia every day that ultimately bleeds you into the character that God called you to be if you listen. If you listen and if you pay attention and gather what he's trying to teach you and you stay on track in that measure. But I'm not saying that you can't, you have to sit on the couch and just eat potato chips and watch reruns of Everybody Loves Raymond and expect your entire destiny to come to fruition when, it's God anyways doing it, right? So let's just leave it to God. No, you need to produce acts. We understand that. You cannot just sit on your ass and do nothing. You have to deliver on what he's calling you to do. And that means taking action in certain elements. But it's not entirely up to you to win this process. And I think most of us get convoluted with this is why I have such a passion against piece of shit influencers on this planet and that are on social media, because a lot of times they're convoluting you with what's wrong, wrongful information. And it's wrong information because they never put, if you notice this, most influencers that just talk about money, they never talk about God. They never do. And God is the one that gave them the talent in the first place, but they never give any credit to the source. If I were you, I wouldn't listen to people with that type of a mental framework. If they are willing to not give clout to the one that put the talent inside of them, guys, you need to be questioning everything that they're saying. That's what I'm expressing here. So noticing who gave you the talent in the beginning, knowing that it's not going to be on your terms, knowing that you're going to become frustrated in the process, you'll understand and develop more of a love for the frustration because you know it's just a byproduct from becoming something great and gaining your purpose in the process. The frustration only means that you're in this for the long haul. And that's a good measure to work from. If you have that mental framework, then when you're in your set of squats and you're at that 7th rep and you want to rack it because everything in your body's saying don't go for another one, and you push through to that 8th rep and you make it, you're frustrated before that 8th rep. You're frustrated because you want the set to be over with, but it's necessary. And you know, if you're like me, you know that there's no giving up on that set. There's just not. You're in it for the long haul. You're going all the way forward. And you become frustrated because maybe your muscles aren't giving you the kind of power that you know they can give you. But it doesn't mean you stop and you rack the bar. You keep going. The frustration is there because it's only there because you are in it for the long haul. If it were something that you cared less about, you'd rack the bar. You'd be like, I'm done. And you'd walk away. And no harm, no foul. And it wouldn't affect you. And I promise you, those are the people that never make anything of their life. There's nobody that you know that has developed any kind of magnificence or gained any kind of magnitude in their life without the element of frustration. You're only frustrated because you're so passionate and so on fire for what you see coming in your life. And the frustration is there because you know what? It's not happening on your timetable. But you know it's coming to evolution. You can feel it. And you have good days and you have bad days. And sometimes those days are aggressive. But the aggression is stemming from a frustration. Sometimes understanding where the frustration comes from and not just treating it at face value can help you to identify really the magnitude that is set in you for this specific thing that is your destiny. And I think that's a good thing to be frustrated. That's what I'm trying to say. It's a good thing that you're frustrated because it showcases tenacity and it showcases perseverance. And all of those elements, those components are necessary if you want to be immersed in your purpose. And if you want to see the evolution of your purpose come to life, all those elements are a necessity. Done.